Pop your heads, girls. All right, welcome to the opening round of Astronomy Madness. We're going to be doing the observatory region in the upper left, and I've got my helpers here. Back behind us in the pink hat, we've got Cami, who is 11, and then right here helping us make the picks today, we've got Lydia, who is 8. So Cami, head on over to the bracket there. So what I'm going to do first, Lydia, you stay right here. I realized after watching the first video that the images are actually not reversed. You can actually read it, even though I didn't realize that. So let's take the laptop over and actually look at where the research bonuses were in the observatory region here. Lydia, why don't you carry this phone so you can have some Survivor Eye of the Tiger while we're doing it. All right, so there were a couple research bonuses in the opening round. So basically any telescope or observatory that was above the Earth was down a chip. So there'll be one chip weaker than their seed number. That's going to include top-seeded Hubble Space Telescope, been in orbit 30 years, incredible. Kepler Space Telescope, which was an extrasolar planet finder that was sadly decommissioned a year or two ago. We've got the Spitzer Space Telescope, not yet launched. We got the James Webb, but it's getting a +1 as all the 12 seeds do, because the new trendy upset are 5-12 upsets, not 7-10 upsets. We've got the Chandra X-ray Telescope. We've got the Infrared Astronomy Telescope. The CGR, Compton Gamma Ray, they're all down a chip. And then the one positive research bonus here was +2 to the telescope that cameoed as a jungle death ray in a James Bond movie, and that honor belongs to the Arecibo Radio Telescope out of Puerto Rico. So even though it's a 14 seed, it's actually getting 2 extra chips. So it's playing more like a 12. So the Very Large Ray is going to have its work cut out for it in round 1. So heading back over, before we start making picks, I just want to show my own bracket. This is the so-called bracket of integrity. That way, once I obviously start doing awesome, you think, oh my gosh, Mr. Krug probably has this thing rigged. I definitely don't. So here are all my picks up close. So just to give you a feel for my final 4, I got the 2nd-seeded Keck coming out of the observatory region. I've got 3rd-seeded Jif Peanut Butter coming out of condiments. Then with its extra bonus point, I got Smallpox coming on as a 4 seed out of virus and bacteria. And down below, I got G-Dub, George Washington, as my only 1 seed getting the final 4. And then my overall champion is the 2nd-seeded Keck Telescope. So that's what's going down. Lydia, are we ready to start picking round 1? Good. Cami, are you going to be ready back there at the big board to write the winners in? All right, so how this is going to work is we got blue chips for the favorite, and we got pink chips for the underdog. So during this tournament, you're going to see a few of these, and that's going to bust many a bracket. So then right here, we've got our pot, which Mr. Brannis and I have used ever since 2008 to pick these games. So it's all about math and probability here. We're going to throw a number of chips into the pot based on the seed numbers, and the higher seeds, the stronger seeds, are going to get more chips. So our opening round game here is top-seeded Hubble against the Mountain Lion Observatory, a 1 versus 16. So Hubble is going to get 16 chips. The Mountain Lion Observatory is only going to get 1 single chip. But Hubble is down just 1 chip due to the research bonus. But this is still 15-to-1 odds here. So Lydia, go ahead and throw 15 blue chips in and 1 pink chip. I'm going to run and get a calculator so I can do some fast calculations here. 15 blues, 1 pink, Lydia. Okay, Lydia, how many total chips do we have in the pot there then?
6.
We got 16. So teams at home, let's learn a little bit about probability. That means the chances of the Mountain Lion Observatory, who a ton of you have winning this whole thing, pulling off an upset is only 6.25%. Now, just to make this as scientific as possible, we're going to have Lydia pick from different spots in the pot. The first game, she picks up high. First chip she touches, boom, that's our winner. Second game, she's going to go down low as deep into the pot as she can. Third game, she's going to pick from left side, Fourth game from the right side, and then we just repeat the cycle. So I gotta give a good shaky shake here. All right. Hubble is the blue chip. Mount Lion Observatory is the pink chip. Lydia, top of the pot. First one we pick out. No upsets already. What do we got? We got a blue. Cami, Hubble Space Telescope. The 1 seed is moving on. Well done, Lydia. See how easy that was? All right. Our second game, we have got, this is almost even odds now. We got the Kepler Space Telescope, an 8 seed, against the Spitzer Space Telescope, a 9. But both of them are down 1 chip. So it's going to be 8 blue chips for the higher seeded Kepler and then 7 pink chips for the lower seeded Spitzer. So can you throw them in there, Lydia? So a little about the Kepler Space Telescope. It was actually a fairly recent telescope from NASA. Sadly, it didn't last nearly as long as Hubble did. And it was actually looking for extrasolar planets, planets orbiting around stars other than our own sun. And it actually found over 3,000 extrasolar planets. And the crazy thing, for most of its life, it was only pointed at 1 constellation, and that was Cygnus the Swan. All right, we got them all in here? All right, so let's give this a good shaky shake. So one more time for those of you watching at home, Kepler is in blue, Spitzer is in pink. I picked a slight upset here. I got Spitzer, so if you can pull a pink chip, that'd be great. Pick 2, you're picking from the bottom of the bucket, Lydia. Go for it, bottom of the bucket. Oh, what we got? Yeah, we got our first upset of the tourney. Spitzer moving on as a 9 seed. Cami, 9 seed Spitzer moving on. Lydia, high five. Good pick, man. All right. Not too many upsets, though, because Dad doesn't need too many upsets. All right, so sort those back out. Good job, Lydia. All right. Next up, pretty awesome. We got a 512 here. We got Yerkes Observatory, and this is actually the biggest refracting telescope on Earth. It's a 40-inch lens, which doesn't sound that big, but that means 40 inches in diameter. If you try to make glass any bigger than that, because glass works like a liquid, it starts to sag in the middle. And this is going up against the James Webb Space Telescope, which has been delayed for a lot of years, but hopefully NASA puts it up in orbit within the next couple years. They've had some problems with it. It's so big, they have problems trying to get it to unfold properly. But if they can ever get it up working again, it's going to be even better than the Hubble Space Telescope. All right, so Yerkes is going to get 12 blue chips as the favored seed. James Webb is going to get 5 pink chips as the underdog. So you do the pink ones, I'll do the blue ones, okay? We actually did this one for practice before we started filming so the ladies could see how this was done. And Lydia pulled an upset. I wouldn't mind an upset this time. I actually got Webb pulling off a 12-5 upset. Okay, did you get all the pinks in there? All right. What are you feeling for this one, Cami? Okay, left side. Third pick, left side. Do it. Yes, you're left. Excellent question. What we got? Oh, all right. We got a blue. So Dad just lost his first game of the tournament. Cami, send Yerkes on as the 5 seed. Yeah, put him back, Lid. All right. Yerkes is moving on. All right. Our next matchup, couple heavyweights here. Both of these built by a man named George Ellery Hale. The 4 seed, the favored, we got Mount Palomar Observatory. And then the Mount Wilson is the underdog, is the 13. So no bonuses here. So Lydia, we're going to need 13 blues for the Mount Palomar. So throw in your 13 blues first. While Lydia is doing that little bit on the Mount Palomar, it for a while was the world record for the biggest reflecting telescope on Earth. So you can make mirrors reflecting a lot bigger than glass lenses. This had a 200-inch diameter. It's still in California, and they made some neat discoveries there, including the deep space object, the quasar. So that's your 4 seed, the Mount Palomar. Okay, Lydia, the 13 seed Mount Wilson is going to get 4 chips. So throw 4 pink ones into the bucket. So a little on the Mount Wilson Observatory. Did I say Mount Palomar or Mount Wilson? Okay, all right. So this is 13 seed Mount Wilson Observatory. Prior to Mount Palomar being built, the Mount Wilson Observatory set and reset its own world record twice for the biggest reflecting telescopes. It had the 60-inch Hooker telescope and the 100-inch Hale telescope. And they also made a number of discoveries. In fact, Edwin Hubble used this observatory to make 2 really big discoveries. that there were other galaxies out there other than the Milky Way, and the universe was actually expanding. So it's almost a little bit of a slight calling this a 13 seed because it was so important to astronomy. All right, Lydia. So we got the Mount Palomar in blue. We got the Mount Wilson is the underdog in pink. Third pick, picking from the right-hand side. Right-hand side. Okay, good. All right, no upsets this time. The Mount Palomar is moving on as a 4 seed. I didn't realize how much I needed that. I got that going to the Elite 8. You did a good job, Lydia. We'll get you some bonus candy later. Cammy, 4 seed Mount Palomar moving on there. All right, this next matchup, nobody picked this thing to win at all, but it's a strong 3 seed. We got the Very Large Array as the 3, and we got the Arecibo as a 14. So, Lydia, can you give us 14 blue chips? No, I apologize. Give me, wait, let me think about this. 14, this would be a 14-5 due to the bonus. 14 blue chips first. So while Lydia's getting those chips, a little bit about this matchup, pretty awesome. Battle of 2 radio telescopes. So the telescopes we use don't just use visible light. They can use types of radiation that human eyes cannot see. So the Very Large Array is actually a grouping, an array of 27 radio telescopes. Okay, Lydia, we need 5 pink chips. On the plains of New Mexico, and the scopes actually move on railroad tracks. They can change the shapes. And this actually made a cameo in the Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey movie Contact, which was based on a book by Carl Sagan called Contact. So very, very cool sight. In the movie, it looks so fantastic. People didn't think it was real, but it is, and it's in New Mexico. And then the 14C is the Arecibo Radio Telescope. This is such a big dish, they couldn't even build supports for it in Puerto Rico. They had to build it into a dish-shaped basin, and it looks absolutely wild, and it was used, it was doubled as a jungle death ray, I believe in Goldeneye, one of the more recent James Bond movies. Okay, I skipped one? Oh, no, that's because that bracket goes in a different order than my paper. That's okay. Thanks for catching that, though. We're not wrong yet. Okay, so Very Large Array is in blue, and the Arecibo is in pink. Lydia, top of the bucket. Blue chip, blue chip, blue chip. Oh, huge bracket buster. That is, I guess it's good. Nobody picked the Very Large Array. Cammy, 14 seed Arecibo Space Telescope or Radio Telescope is moving on. Arecibo with our first major bracket buster of the tournament. I got to cross out my bracket. I guess that's a good thing nobody picked the Very Large Array because it did not even survive the opening round. Lydia, crushing some people's brackets. How do you feel about that?
I don't know.
All right. All right. Lydia, go ahead and sort out those chips. All right. Our next matchup is the Chandra X-ray Observatory versus the Lowell Observatory. So this is a 6-11, but Chandra is down 1 chip here. So this is going to be a 10-6. So we're going to need 10 blue chips. Thanks, Lids. Lydia, I just need you to throw 6 pink chips in the bucket. 10-6. Get them in there good. So just a little bit on the Chandra X-ray Observatory, we'll highlight that one. So luckily our atmosphere protects us from a lot of different radiation or else we would die. And that includes X-rays. So if you want a really good X-ray telescope, you've got to put one in orbit very, very far from the Earth. And that's the Chandra X-ray. And then the Lowell Observatory is a ground-based observatory. That's our 11 seed. Okay, Lydia, bottom of the bucket. Chandra is the blue, Lowell is the pink. Next pick, what we got? All right, Lydia's showing it right to the camera. I like that. Good. All right, that means, I had the upset too. Darn it, Lydia. Okay, Cammy, 6 seed Chandra X-ray Observatory moving on. I picked the upset, but the wrong side of that one. Dang. I should have picked the upset a game later. All right, Lydia, go ahead and sort those back out. So Chandra moving on, despite the -1 as the 6 seed. All right, we got 2 more games here before this opening region is complete. Next up, we got the IRAS, the Infrared Astronomy Satellite, as our 7 seed, and it is going up against the Compton Gamma Ray Observatory as our 10. Both of them are down 1 chip, so this is going to be a 9-6 matchup here. Lydia, I'm going to throw in the blue. We got 9 chips going into the blue. Can you please throw in 6 pink chips, my dear? So 9 versus 6. Both of these space-based observatories here. All right. So third pick on the bottom half, so we're going right side of the bucket. The IRAS is in blue, the comp pin is in pink. Dad picked right side. Dad picked an upset here. If you can pull a pink chip, that'd be awesome. Oh, Lydia's starting to butt. That's all right. Don't be sorry. That's just the madness. All right. Infrared astronomy satellite is moving on as the 7th. Cammy, 7 seed IRAS is moving on. All right. Lydia, listen. Here's the one time Dad needs you to pull a blue chip because Dad has this next team winning it all. In the last couple of years, when I would make these picks with Mr. Brannis would pull the wrong chips at the wrong time. And Dad's brackets got busted really, really early. So I need you to focus here. Think about blue chips, okay? All right. Our final opening round game, 2 observatories on the top of a dormant volcano in Hawaii. This is at Mauna Kea, and it's such a good site. Hawaii is up so high at the top of this volcano. The atmosphere is so thin above it, they cram a whole bunch of telescopes up there. So we've got the Keck telescope as our 2 seed going up against the Japanese flagship observatory, the Subaru. So Keck is going to get 15 chips. Subaru is going to get 2. So Lydia, go ahead and throw 2 pink chips in. I'll throw 15 blue ones. Interesting thing about this mountaintop in Hawaii, normally when you think about Hawaii, you think about white sand beaches and palm trees, but this mountain is actually so high up for a lot of the year it's covered in snow and it's very, very cold. All right, so our blue chips are gonna be the Keck, our pink chips are gonna be the Subaru, and Mr. Krug has the Keck winning this whole darn thing, and I do not want to get my bracket busted on day 1. Thinking blue, thinking blue, thinking blue. You're picking from, ooh, hot chip, hot chip. Okay, you're picking from the bottom of the barrel, okay, bottom of the barrel. Okay, dig down deep in there. We're thinking blue, we're thinking blue, we're thinking blue. What we got? Oh my goodness, all right. My bracket does not get busted on the opening day. Good job, good job, good job. Okay, so Keck is moving on as a 2 seed. That looks really good. All right, Cammie, before we end this video, I'm going to come on over. Why don't you just take our guests for the opening round winners for the observatory telescope region. Just go ahead and read these things off from top to bottom. Oh, your handwriting looks great. Looks better than my handwriting. All right, girl, what we got here?
Hubble Space Telescope.
Yep.
Spitzer Space Telescope.
Yep.
Yerkes Observatory.
Yep.
Mount
Palomar. Yep.
Palomar
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Chandra X-ray Telescope. Arecibo Radio
Good.
Telescope.
Yep.
IRAS
At Mauna Kea. Good. So our major bracket buster right now was Arecibo rolling on. We got Spitzer with a slight upset, and then the rest was chalk. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the opening round of the observatory region. From myself and Cammie and Lydia, peace out. We'll see you again real, real soon. Let me put on the tiger on our way out.